Okay. All right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Woke Ass Wednesdays. We've got a lineup for you. Daughter of Otten put together the playlist today. So we've got one topic that we're going to be talking about for a while. If we get through it in time, then we'll go over. We got a clown world set up to go over. So, what do you call this one?
Okay, so this is talking about feminism, like microfeminism. Well, and I'm like, is it microfeminism or microaggression? You know, because, well, you'll see why I say that. So, what happened was I found this, I don't think you call it a channel, but it's like a group on Facebook. It's called Feminist Daily, and they post these videos. And so I found this one today. It was recommended for me, and yeah, it's basically like how this woman goes about using microfeminism in her daily life, as well as the subsequent comments that follow.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right then, ladies and gentlemen, let me get this set up.
You can talk through not the first one, but the second one.
Okay.
Because that's the one you got to pause a lot on.
Yeah. Share. That's set up, but I'm not muted. All right, I'm going to mute this, and we're going to go on to the first video, and then she's Daughter of Otten said with the second video we'll kind of talk through it. This first one explains everything, right?
It gives you an introduction to what microfeminism is, yes.
Why women on TikTok are popularizing the idea of microfeminism, a trend which, quote, encourages women to make the world a more equitable place through small, intentional daily gestures, like holding the door open for another woman or shoulder checking random dudes.
No, but this is my favorite act of microfeminism. So I'm on the sidewalk, on the correct side of the sidewalk, only taking up my one little lane, and I'm walking to the car. And sure enough, there's a group of 8 young men walking towards me, taking up the entire sidewalk. They are taking up the entire sidewalk, and I just kept walking in my lane, and I literally walked into one of them.
If I run a man over in my car, is that macrofeminism? Panelists, what are some personal acts of microfeminism you'd like to be recognized for? Patty?
Becoming a sister wife, but just to make girlfriends.
All right, so there you had it. That was the introduction into about what we're doing and stuff, and it's like...
So microaggression is just basically there's some small intentional changes that you do to kind of, make things equitable?
Yes.
I don't know.
You know, and it's like, a lot of it to me is just common courtesy. Like the walking on the right side that eachbody's supposed to do, and it's like a lot of people anymore do not though.
Well, she's talking about like if you're walking and there's a guy coming at you.
Yeah. That's what I mean though. I mean, it's just courtesy to move over, and so that people
most of the time I've had people move over for me, so I don't know. Maybe it's because she has this sour look on her face or something, and so she doesn't.
Well, and more and more, there's so many people that are watching their phones, that are too involved in what they're doing to give a damn. I mean, in the city, that's how it is with most of the points. It gets ridiculous. Nobody pays attention. I mean, you've got so many people on their cell phones in their car.
It's true, and it's supposed to be illegal here.
I know it is.
Sorry.
I'm mostly saying hi. But I mean, yeah, it's exactly how it is. It's like, that's just... The common courtesy should be there, but it's not in a lot of cases.
Right. I mean, and for me, I'm like tiny, so it's like if I go to do that, I'm literally like chest level to most people out there. So it's like they literally don't see me. So it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm really gonna put my ass on the line just because I want to be noticed, right?
Well, it also got my attention, and like how she said it, and I thought about the story that you always tell me about when you were in cheerleading.
I was cheerleading, and I was like, thinking that I'm just gonna like stalk these guys that are running track around the thing, and I just thought they were standing there with my hands on my hips, like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? And they literally plowed me over.
And then there's one time that you plowed a football player over.
Yeah, that was another one. Yeah, for the first one was when I was like in training, you know.
Yes.
And the other one was at an actual game, and we were at the end zone, and they sent the footballers back onto the field like prematurely. We weren't off the field yet; they're supposed to wait, and they were all running this way, and I got separated from the rest of my squad, so I panicked. So we kind of did that. I go this way, he went the same way, and we did that like twice, and then finally I just went, and I checked him, and he like fell on his ass, like flat out on his back, and I like ran like hell to catch up. I was like,
that's so funny.
I was like 12.
I mean, a cheerleader knocking over a football player.
And that guy was huge.
Yeah.
You remember? Okay, so let me grab one of these here.
Yep, you're good.
This is for you.
Thank you. We have to eat while doing this because, you know, we're trying to make sure that the streams are being efficient in our life too, because it's summer and it's getting very busy here. So, all right.
As a matter of fact, play the other ones, and then we'll come back to this.
Okay, so skip the next one.
Skip to the next one.
Okay.
And then we'll eat while this is going on, and then we'll cover that. So I can sit down and talk with you.
Okay, so
Or maybe they'll shut up.
skip this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
My act of microfeminism is that when
Stop, please. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute it then. That way I can eat for a second. We're gonna watch this and we'll go over it all.
just had a baby and when people come to my house, like a man and a woman or like relatives or whatever, I will always thrust my baby in the direction of the man first. So I'll be like, can you hold my baby while I, have a shower or something? Because women are always holding babies. We always expect it. So men can get used to it.
Sometimes in the lift, if a man is waiting for me to go, I also stand and wait for him to go. So on every rental application and lease we've ever had, I've put myself as the primary contact. And every time a real estate or a tradesperson gets in contact and defers to my partner, I make him then re-loop me in.
Whenever a man calls me like sweetie or darling or gorgeous, I will call them that back.
So anytime anyone's talking about someone in the position of power, I'll just assume that it's a woman and I'll be like, oh, what did your boss say? What's she doing? And all that kind of stuff. I'll just refer to them as a woman.
Sun's up.
My act of microfeminism is that when I've just had a baby and when people come to my house, like a man and a woman or like relatives,
All right, let's look at some of the comments on this one. I mean, a lot of what these people are doing is outright ridiculous. It's just they're doing the complete opposite of what.
It's just like, it's not courtesy. Like I said, it's not common courtesy at all. It's nothing that I've even thought of.
No.
And I don't see it as being misogynistic, these things. It doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I've had women bosses and I've had guy bosses, and I prefer guy bosses.
Yes.
But it's like I've never presumed that I'm going to have a male doctor or a female doctor or anything, or a male nurse or a female nurse. It's like I don't presume any of those things. And it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't register to me.
Mm-mm. All right. We got Irate Liba. My act of microfeminism is asking her to do any heavy lifting, or if something is high up, I ask her to get it. And if you find ourselves in any dangerous situation, I step back and let her handle it. I take it it's a guy, right? That's funny. I mean, hey, if you want to be treated as an equal and be in the equal situation, then you have to take accountability and be there just the same as a guy should.
Exactly.
Okay. Unsold TW. When they let you go into an elevator first, they're just trying to be nice to you. There's no need to to go out of your way to annoy them or anyone. Well, exactly. I mean, that's just common courtesy, and I don't care if they want to act like, oh, they're doing that because we're a woman. Oh, we're this and that. It's called being raised right.
Right.
Know how to handle situations.
I mean, even if I'm waiting for that elevator and there happens to be a male standing there, I still offer them to go on first. It's like, or I'll hold the door open for a guy or something. It doesn't really matter to me. It's like a common courtesy. I don't think of it as like asserting myself as a dominant or equal person.
Exactly.
So
That's the problem. They want to make such a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Vinci Crowhammer. Hippos being microfeminist in 2024. Just
you don't really have to worry about
the names. Don't call a man darling, gorgeous, and such. We are not used
to it.
We are not used to compliments. Might fall in love. Yeah, it's funny. Women are always holding babies. Women want the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Dot. Elizabeth, the flowers.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not anymore. More and more women choosing cats and dogs over babies. And that's a big issue. We have such a big issue with the decline of birth rates.
And I could give less of a shit about capitalism. I could give less of a shit, really, about humanity as a whole. But there is less and less good people to fight that fight against the bad people, because there's always going to be people.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, we've got this push of, what do you call it? The gays and everything, all wanting to adopt and have babies, and do the infertile, whatever it's called, in vitro, that thing.
It's so scientific and so untouched.
And it is. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. It's like we need good nuclear families.
Yeah, right. It's not just having the babies.
No.
It's having the families to raise.
It's the raised environment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Amir was going over about the toxic parents.
Right.
And about, there's so many of these moms, dads that just have ruined so many people.
And a lot of times those children go off to say, I don't want to have children because I don't want to pass this problem on. I don't want them to suffer the way that I did. They won't. If you're conscious of that now, it's never going to happen. Because you already are doing something that your parents never would have put in their head.
Exactly.
So it's like you're so scared. And I feel that, for us, that was, it healed a lot of traumas, and not just within ourselves, but it corrected a lot of our bloodline. The sins of our mothers, the sins of our fathers, and everything. It's like we're correcting that. We're setting us back on course to have good people. I don't know. It's like I wake up every single day, thinking this could be the day the world ends. And it's like
it could.
I want my family to be in line just in case they survive it, and they need to go on and make a new world.
Yes.
That's how I treat every single day. I know it sounds maybe self-important or something, but it's like if everybody did that, they would come together and you would have a better world.
See, and then the biggest things that you get out of that is you need to go on and have your own gardens. Be self-sufficient. Turn to solar power. I mean, that's one of the biggest things now. And I mean, that's very self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
To have things run. We've got a smaller generator that's run off solar. Works great.
And it's like maybe you would not be able to run everything that people are used to running all the time. Maybe you have to be a little bit more conscious of what you're charging and what times of the day and all that. But it's doable. People are so used to convenience and things are so easy for them.
Yes.
That I don't know. They take it for granted.
Oh, they do. They do for sure.
It's like we found out that we can't even run that heater on the solar because it's like it takes up that much, so we had to reroute some stuff.
Well, I got everything working again properly, and it's so nice.
It's like we're always tested with stuff like that.
Yep.
But, and we made it through, and it wasn't that big of a deal.
Nope.
I didn't have my cameras. That was my biggest bitch.
Yeah, and then we got that solved.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with water. People are so used to just going and turning on water and having it be there, be hot. And it's like, well, what if you had to choose between filling up your reservoirs outside or taking a shower in the house or washing the dishes?
Exactly.
It's like, what if you did have to go reroute the water so that you could do those things? It's totally doable. And
it is.
You'd be like much happier for it. You know, it's rough, but it's like it's just
I
so
wouldn't.
much better.
I wouldn't change our mountain living for anything.
No.
Honestly, I could never go back to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Like I never really lived in the city. Like I frequented the city, but I could have never lived in it, and I still can't think about it. You know?
Yeah. I actually want to move more remote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not moving, and we're always going to have this place. I'll be damned if something happens.
So we're thinking about moving down to South America, where there's just like a plot of land that you have to start from the ground up. I would like to keep this place. I'd like to have some other monks move in and take care of it, you know.
Yeah, and then that way we can go somewhere where the weather's always temperate. It's always good.
Yeah.
Instead of having this cold spills that just wreck your body.
And it's not. And don't get us wrong. It isn't really actually that cold at all here.
No, but it is.
But it is to us. So.
Yeah.
Like it's down to like maybe 17 degrees, and we get maybe 1 or 2 snowstorms a year. But believe me, it's enough. It's enough to really hurt us and slow us down, and we don't like that. So
Exactly.
better served in hotter weather.
Oh yeah, and it's gotten hot the last couple of days, and it's like we're thriving.
Yeah.
So much better.
I spent most of the day napping because it was so comfortable, but it's like I feel so much better.
Yeah. Okay. Spoken by 6 very homely looking females.
Always.
Yep. These are great. I hear more and more all the time. Excellent work. Huh. How to never get married. Yeah. No kidding.
They don't care either, though.
They
That's
don't.
the problem.
There's that one.
Yeah, the one I made for you is a doozy. It's like, wow.
Are we gonna go on to the next one, or do you want to go?
Whenever you're done eating.
No, the one that you want me to do, I have to be present. Like not just present, but I mean like.
We're gonna converse
Talk.
about it, yeah.
So is the next one okay to go on to, or?
Yeah, they're all about the same thing. But whenever you're done,
Sun's up.
just make sure it's full screen.
All right, I'm gonna mute this, and then we'll get this next one rolling on.
It's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself. Leave the work for someone else. People say, they say that it's just a phase. They tell me to act my age. Well, I am on this perfect day. Nothing's standing in my way. Perfect day when nothing can go wrong. It's the perfect day. Tomorrow's gonna come too soon. I could stay forever as I am on this perfect day.
Welcome to Everyday Nation. I'm Priyan. And I'm bringing you fresh perspective from the nation Thailand. Today, let's dive into what is microfeminism and how to practice it. I'm pretty sure you've heard about feminism. It is a belief in equality for all genders. But what if it is micro? Well, microfeminism is a small act to interrupt everyday sexism and challenge gender stereotype. Example, if someone mentioned a person in charge, board of director, or president, and you don't know that person, referring to that person as she or her. Or if your male colleague tell you that he's having a baby, try asking him, oh, so how would you balance your work life and your family? Huh, สมศักดิ์ Or if an old man want to call you sweetie, no, call him that back. He's the sweetie. Microfeminism is believed that can challenge sexism in the workplace and can make gradually change. So what is your favorite act of microfeminism?
Sorry about that last one. Looking up full screen.
It's really tiny when you do that. It's like,
I know.
especially
It was just that one because I had to go in and do something.
especially ceramic phone.
I know. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
So this is like reached all the way to Thailand.
Yeah.
This is like where the passport bros are supposed to be going to get good traditional women.
Unfortunately, yes.
And I know that like Korea has something called the 4B movement. Remember, because each of those things.
I do. I remember
starts
that.
with the B.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like have no relations with men, have no children, and all that. So it is spreading to other countries.
Unfortunately, yes. And other countries have it so much better as far as knowing oneself and how would you put it? Like spiritual roots.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of like I said, it's a faithless country.
Yes.
It's a faithless time. So as long as they do have good traditional spiritual roots, it's like we don't really see that much of a problem.
No.
But it is starting to infiltrate and infect those areas. And
That sucks.
It's a shame.
It is. It's a big shame.
All right, let's go to the other one now.
Okay.
Wait, you're not done any.
I just have
Okay,
a
do the
little
next
bit
one.
left. Okay, we're going to the next one. I won't have it be.
Did you mute?
You guys got worked up about microfeminisms. The conversations in my DMs were heated, and I'm glad. Here's the deal. Is this passive aggressive? Maybe. Does it mean that we're not trying to go towards gender equality? We're trying to make women superior? Never. If we want to change the way people think, getting uncomfortable is step one. If it makes you uncomfortable to think of women in a superior position than men, how have you felt all this time when men have had the upper hand?
Hi, hello. My name is Robin Gao. I'm an autistic trans poet.
All right.
What?
I don't know if you want to say something.
Not yet.
Okay.
On the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna be going on to the next one. I'm just trying to finish up this last fight.
And then we'll have that discussion.
I'm being killed. Something's falling.
Yeah, our speaker.
That is awesome. All right, let me get back to it.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
You can say unmuted for this one.
Yeah, it's unmuted. Right.
Just act like you're gonna scroll something up there.
It doesn't matter what
this
this one
one.
does,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not gonna. Pause. Okay.
Full screen.
All right, so this is the account that I got it from on Facebook. It's called Daily Feminism. They have a variety of different feminist-involved things that I'm probably going to be sending over to you for the next couple of weeks.
That sounds good. We'll go over that stuff.
There's the one I was telling you about today where there's a white athlete and she's literally pandering to the black crowd saying, you know, instead of congratulations to me as a woman and celebrate my success, she's like, well, you know, black women have had it harder, you know, pandering, just general pandering.
Exactly.
So that's one of them. They've got some information about trans youth and you know, woke stuff, I guess. So I'll be sourcing it to you for.
I appreciate that.
But this next video was recommended for me. It was a reel, but I zoomed it in for the sake that you had her children on it, and even though you can see their faces, I didn't really want to share somebody else's.
Yeah, well, that's exactly true, and that's why you.
Yeah. So
fix it.
I have that video, which we'll have to pause as we go, and the comment section did not disappoint. So we'll have some in the comment section as well.
All right, so we'll head over all this, and we'll be unmuted, so you'll be able to hear what we're talking about too.
So no gendered language for professions. Postie instead of postman. Firefighter instead of fireman, etc. So don't say man.
Yeah, leave man out of it.
This is what she's teaching her children.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. teaching them not to let people speak over them when they're talking and to be assertive with their ideas.
So, I mean, if you're teaching that to a boy, that's one thing.
Right.
And really, you shouldn't teach, you shouldn't let people speak it over you, regardless.
Right, if you have a point to speak, then yes,
Yeah.
you must speak it. But there is a lot to be learned from just shutting up.
Oh, there is.
And listening.
The best lessons are learned when you just shut up and listen.
And it's like better to be to be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt that you're a fool.
Exactly, that is so true.
So it's like, it's still something that I'm learning too, but when it comes to being out in public, I know this lesson well. Like, I don't shut up enough with you, I don't think, but,
You do.
I speak my mind a lot. I'm sorry, if it is girls, yeah, you're teaching them to be little brats.
You are.
You
Yeah.
know, especially having assertive ideas, and it's like, there's a decorum for all people, and
Yes.
to me, that's just teaching them to be little brats, just a
Oh,
good
yeah.
experience. Reminding them not to apologize unnecessarily or excessively.
Yep.
And this is a big problem.
It is.
Because to say that you're sorry means that you have empathy
Yeah,
for what you did.
You're not just saying it.
Right.
You don't just say words like that.
Yeah.
You have to mean it, and you have to own up to what you did and move on.
It says unnecessarily or excessively, so I understand that. But again, when you teach just to kids, it's going to turn them into brats.
Well, yeah, and when she's saying it this way to kids, that just illustrates that she's probably done a lot wrong. But it's like, well, it doesn't matter. Just apologize.
I do feel. Well, no, she's saying not to. She says,
Oh, yeah,
reminding them not to
apologize
unnecessarily or excessively. So
Yeah.
she's telling them not to say I'm sorry, and it's like, so to me that's just saying you're lacking accountability.
You are. That's the only way to look at it.
Reminding them that we hold the door open for everyone.
And that's a very good habit.
That's okay.
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong.
Right. I mean, you should be courteous to all people. That
Yes.
to me is not necessarily feminism. That's just courtesy. Okay. Not hiding period products in the house. Speaking openly about menstruation using correct anatomical terms. Normally, I would agree, except you can see that her children are really, really young.
Yes.
And it's like that. I mean, what level of? I mean, it has to be age appropriate.
And I mean, yeah, it very much so has to be age appropriate. And what are you teaching them? I mean, you're saying, we cannot hide these. But yet kids need to know, too, that there are some things like your guests don't need to see.
Right. And I mean, there's some things that are sacred even to family. And there's something that bothers me. And I'll probably talk about it on my channel at some point whenever I get back to doing my vlogs. But it's like about breastfeeding. And like feeding out in public and all
Yes.
this. And there was like a thread that was ripping this girl that was saying, well, even my husband has barely seen me. She's like, I feel that it's a private and sacred thing. I like to be, and she's like, oh, so would you expect your children to sit at a different table while you eat? Would you eat in a different room than the rest of your family? Why would you everybody's seen my titties out, between my husband and my sons and my cousins. And it's like,
So that tells a lot about you.
I know. And it's like, I'm the same way. I feel like it's kind of a sacred thing. It's I don't particularly hide it. But it's like I go to my little pod and, it's like I try to be, it's not really, it's not for you.
And there's no reason to flaunt it.
Right, yeah. There was a reel that was like attached to that. And it was a girl, it was like, oh, the first time that you have a baby. And she's like, got it all covered up and breastfeeding. And then by the time you have your third baby, and she's just walking out topless, holding the baby. And she goes and opens the door and gets a package from the delivery guy.
No, that's wrong.
What the hell?
That could still be, that's an iffy one. Could be indecent exposure, but you're still on your own property.
And it doesn't matter because if you're feeding a baby, if it's for that purposes, it's not illegal. And it's like, I mean, I get it if there's an emergency or something, but I don't know. I feel that there should be privacy and sacredity to it.
Yes.
You know,
There's no reason to overdo it, and to act to people like, well, it doesn't
that's
matter.
kind of how I feel. It's like, look at me, you know, oh, my baby
Yeah.
has to eat. It's like, yeah, but like it's also teaching them really bad habits. Like, you don't stop and slow down to eat. You know, that there's not a space set aside for you to go do that. It's like just eat on the run. You know? And that's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. You're just gonna eat fast food and keep going.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm one of those women that thinks, no, I get it. I try my best to be modest about stuff.
You should. I mean, that's a big thing.
It's like, I understand that it's natural. It's just the way that I feel.
Yes.
I don't know why it's flawed the way that it is.
I don't know. I mean, people are just like, well, I don't care. You know, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it does, because, like you said, there's just the decency you need to have as a human being.
Yeah, I don't even really feel like it's for anybody else. It's for you and the baby, the bonding time.
Yes.
Because they're like, well, every animal does it. And I'm like, yeah, every animal goes to some dark box to do it.
Exactly.
You know, they go away from prying eyes. They don't like to be watched, except for maybe horses. But that's, you know, just later on, you know, they'll be out with their horses when they're older, when they're foals. But
Yeah.
Other than that, they too try to go to a nice little quiet spot away from the herds.
And a lot of times animals will wait until you go to bed to have them.
To have baby, yeah, they too value their
privacy, yes.
Privacy, exactly.
Exactly.
So why humans feel the need to be like, look at me, you know, I'm feeding my baby, look at I'm such a good mother. I don't know.
Well, they put in this whole, well, I've been censored for so long. I've been covering all this for so long. I just can't stand it anymore.
You'll see it in some of the other stuff coming up here. But, so yeah, the whole period thing and menstruation, that's another thing to me that falls in that same category.
Yes.
It's quiet, it's sacred, it's something that's, you know, spoken about in whispers, not yelled about.
You don't need to be like next to a guy and be talking about it and be like, oh, well, my period started this and that. I mean, it's going to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I guess that's the point, is they don't care if they're uncomfortable. But I'm like, it's sacred to us.
Yes.
Just like even putting on makeup is not supposed to be really witnessed by males. It's a sacred feminine art. It's feminine mystery. And
yeah, it's supposed to be just for the person doing it.
Yeah, but now every woman is doing her makeup on TikTok.
I know.
In front of everybody.
That's all the videos that you see.
Get ready. There was the one we already saw, right? Get ready with me while I take on the patriarch.
Yeah. You saw that one, all right.
So yeah, that's my thought on this one.
Yes, very much so.
Being loud about celebrating other women's achievements and strengths, making sure my kids hear it. Why not just being loud about everybody's
accomplishment? Yes, exactly.
History is amazing.
It is.
You know, there's been great women generals from back in the ancient days, and there's been great male generals that have been in the ancient days. You know.
I mean, when have women really been oppressed?
Yeah, I mean, even biblically, they're written about in some very powerful positions.
Yes.
But no, I guess only women's. I don't see how this brings equity. I don't either. Because this is just trying to elevate women. Like, we're so much better.
Yeah.
And you will definitely see that in the comments. There's a couple of people that they literally call men subhuman.
God.
It was like, wow. This one. Okay. So, not making self-depreciating jokes around them or commenting negatively on my appearance or body. Then how are you going to be real and relatable? You know,
exactly.
You have to. I'm very self-depreciating, but it doesn't like mean that I actually feel that way about myself. I'm just modest. You know,
it's very true. I mean, there's a lot of them out there that are. You know, that it's like, oh my God, I need this fixed, and that it's not always a bad thing. You know, it means that you're reflecting on yourself and knowing.
And sometimes you're just, but yeah, it's usually done for the wrong reasons, and people have like the societal pressures, you know.
Yes.
It's like you have to be comfortable enough to be able to make self-depreciating jokes without like believing them yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and because like I said, it makes you more approachable, makes you more relatable.
Exactly.
And commenting negatively on my appearance or body, it doesn't matter if you look like crap or feel like crap sometimes. You can say that, you know.
You can.
And there's a comment that's specifically about this, talking about how she won't let her 6-year-old like talk about her big body negatively. And it's like, but if you're overweight, then they're gonna tell you the truth.
Well, and where is she getting it from?
Right.
The 6-year-old has to be
Well, no, the
hearing
6-year-olds,
it.
they just know.
They know, yes.
You know.
I mean, they don't know how to. They don't have the filter to keep your mouth
Like
shut.
when I was preparing for Fat Tuesday, when Tristan was probably about 6 or 7, I was making
that age.
Yeah, I was making red beans and rice, and he's like, "What is that for, Mom?" And I was like, "It's for Fat Tuesday." But Mom, you're already fat. So see, they'll just.
Yeah, kids don't have that filter to shut up.
He didn't mean it in a bad way.
No.
It was just what it was, you know.
And you get called out on it, and it's like a lot of people really, really hate it.
Yeah. And so then you can explain. It's like, well, no, I'm fat because of this, or maybe you're looking at it wrong way. Maybe this isn't fat. This is muscle. You know, you can. I mean, you shouldn't be offended by what a 6-year-old thinks.
No, you should not at all.
But I think that self-depreciating jokes is fine, and I think that commenting negatively on your parents is fine, as long as you're not doing it like
all the time.
All the time.
But there's so many out there that do it constantly.
My nose, my ass.
Yeah. I mean, look at the problem that we're getting with plastic surgery.
Yeah, it's been around since like the 90s.
But I mean, it's becoming more and more now because there's more doctors who'll do it. And so many of them, they won't stop at one.
No, nobody does.
And it's just boom, boom. It's this chain reaction. I mean, even on Teen Mom we were watching, one was going in for like her 5th one.
Yeah, I want this tweaked. I want that tweaked.
Yeah.
And, like I went in and I had all the stuff that I wanted done, and that was like 10 years ago. And
thank God it was just one time.
Yeah, and it's like now I've kind of thought it's like maybe they could retighten this and this for me, but it's like been 10 years.
And you remember the problems that you had.
I'm never doing this again, and I don't have to.
No, you don't have to. That's the awesome thing about it. But they usually do it. You said in 2 different sets, right?
Right.
And there's no way you would have gone back if that was the case.
No, so they could say I had the mommy makeover, which is supposed to do the boobs, the butt, and then everything else that I had done. Like, well, not the chin or the arms. I think maybe the arms. But I supplemented for having the flanks and under my chin done instead of having my boobs and my butt done, because it's like I can't. I just like just the idea of it, because they have to detach the nipple, they cut the entire nipple.
God.
And then they do stuff, and it's like.
Unfortunately, it was one of the times that we were fighting and I wasn't around.
Right.
It was the biggest one.
Right. So you were not there for my
So
recovery.
I wasn't there for the recovery. I didn't see any of it.
No.
And you would deal with just your mother.
For a while. And then she split off on me, so I was just carrying and Josh.
Yep.
And they back to my fucking house and then left.
I know.
Like, they were fixing stuff. It wasn't like they partied or anything, but they were quote unquote fixing stuff, and they stopped halfway through and decided to leave and never came back. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't recommend having any of that stuff done unless it's for a medical reason.
I mean, yours was.
Yeah, because there is a trade-off. I have a big scar. This looks a little strange. It looks like my grandfather's neck, but there's a trade-off, and you have to be okay with that. And I think that people are not okay with that.
No, they're never okay. They think that they're going to be perfect.
Right.
They think that, okay, this will solve my world problems.
Right, and it's just not true. And even my doctor, he straight up told me, he's like, it's a trade-off. It's like you'll have some things that are better, and some things that are gonna be different or worse.
Yes.
And it's true. And so it's like I just looked at it as a medical need more than anything, and it's been fine.
It's been great. I mean, but it wasn't just like a fix-all regardless. I mean, it took you time to keep that weight away.
Yeah, it was I actually didn't even lose the weight ever until my mother was out of the picture and I stopped being bad to my body.
Exactly.
When I stopped having the stress and holding the cortisol and actually getting good sleep and drinking water and everything, it shed off naturally, and it hasn't come back. This is the fattest that I've been in
I know, it's been amazing.
8 years.
The difference.
Yeah. So it's like I can't recommend that anybody does it for cosmetic reasons.
No.
It just doesn't
Because
work.
it doesn't work for medical, or not medical, but for the
Like superficial,
Yeah,
cosmetic,
superficial, yes.
cosmetic reasons. Yeah, it's just like because, like I said, they're not okay with the scar that's left behind, or they're not okay with the little
no.
puckers or folds that are left behind from the surgery where you were pinned. You know, it's like it's a trade-off. It's like, do you want to be comfortable,
Yes.
or do you want to look great? 'Cause
They want both.
If you want to look great, you should work on it yourself.
Yes.
You know, like I tried everything that I could. I had a mass under here that was like made of scar tissue that they had to scrape out. It wasn't going anywhere.
Exactly.
I worked on that for like, about 5 years, dude. It was for 5 years and it hadn't gone away. So
You're like, okay, we have to get this done.
yeah, $17,000.
Yep. It costs.
Yeah, and 2 nights at a hotel, and a couple of trips to LA for a checkup. You know, it's not easy.
Yes.
But yeah.
But you're glad you got it.
Yeah.
And you stuck to it.
And I've been through a pregnancy now with it.
Yes.
And birth and everything. I mean, it's still tight. I still feel it tight in there. So.
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing.
You did a really good job.
Yeah, the work this guy did, and just how it sticks.
So he told me that he worked on his sister-in-law and his mother-in-law and his mother. So
You better be good to work on your mother-in-law,
Yeah.
man.
So I knew that he was and his wife, I guess. So
Yes.
He was a real deal. He did a really great job.
Good.
Okay. Presuming she or her pronouns if someone is talking about a doctor.
This one just me is just we're stupid.
This is the same group of people that say, don't presume my pronouns.
Exactly.
You have to say they. Why can't you say they? You know?
Ooh, that's their own language, too.
I know. But it's like, so if it's doctor, it must be a she or her.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
It's ridiculous. It honestly is.
Okay, so praise them for being brave, curious, or adventurous more than praising their appearance. As long as you are still praising their appearance from time to time.
Well, exactly.
It's
I mean,
important.
there's ways to do it. You got to make sure that you're telling them the truth.
Yeah.
The way it is and how to do it.
Yeah.
Not just saying, well, I praise them on this, it's like, oh, their butt looks really fat, but it's like, oh, no, tell them it looks really thin.
Right, because you're a really smart person, you're a really good reader, but
Yeah.
And it's like you're talking, because remember, this is woman telling her children.
Yes.
She's teaching her children.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
This is how she fights this is how she fights the patriarchy every day with little things.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And so it's like she's saying she wants to praise them for being brave and curious, but more than praising their appearance.
Yes.
So it's like, what? So they think they're ugly?
Exactly.
Or are they ugly? I mean, it's
yes.
but it's like that's really, really, really important too, to say, hey, you're really handsome, you're really beautiful, you're looking great today, because that boosts your confidence. It's something to look forward to.
Yes,
you know,
is.
and it's like then if somebody starts telling them that they're ugly, they don't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
that's
if you're just not saying anything about their appearance and somebody's like, well, you're hideous, you're ugly, they're going to believe that because they have not heard anything else.
That's exactly right.
And for better or worse, you're the voice in their head.
Well, that's the thing, and especially with women and their daughters.
Yes.
And then fathers and their sons.
And in this case, it's reversed, because if a guy says to his daughter that she's like so beautiful and that she's just stunning, that it protects her from guys that come and say that later on.
Exactly. Then she understands. Okay, yeah, I know I am.
Yeah.
What's your point?
It's like, so it's not new, and then they don't get all flustered in that and thinking,
yes.
oh my God, you actually care about me. So it's like, she does
it's
say,
better.
She says more than praising the appearance. I'm hoping that she does praise their appearance a little bit.
Yes.
It's right, like, especially when they start putting clothes together on their own and stuff. It's like, oh my God, that's awesome. You did a great job. Look at those colors coordinate. Look how bold of a choice that is.
But a lot of them don't see it that way.
No, it's like, that's just looks. That's not important.
Yeah.
It is to them.
It is.
And it is to growing up. Like my mother, she did not tell me ever Like, she would talk to sometimes other people
Yeah,
about it, but not to me directly.
that sucks.
And as a matter of fact, she would always poke fun at my weight
Yes, your mother and your grandmother.
and how close together my eyes were,
Yes, I remember.
how big my teeth were.
I remember all of that.
Yeah, so it's like it would have meant the world to me if they actually would have said nice things.
Yes.
You know, my grandmother would sometimes say my hair was so pretty when it wasn't dyed, and then I would dye. So why would you do that to yourself? You know?
That's why she would say it.
Yeah. So it's like I do find it important, very, very important to say
Yes. I mean, that's terrible. I'm sorry. But I mean, that's why you're the different with Tristan, and it's like you don't go about it that same
Yeah,
way.
so I praise him for both. I praise him for being, to being handsome and,
Yes.
and also for trying new things and doing new things and keeping up with his schoolwork and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And talking about the sport, say men's football, not just football.
But I thought that women played sports too. I mean, they're trying to have women in
Yeah, I know.
football.
Right. I know. So yeah, I'm not really understanding this one. It's like, how is
No.
this? How is this a flex on microfeminism?
Yeah.
It's like it is just football. It doesn't matter. It's like
Yes,
it is
football.
just basketball. It is just. I don't care if it's the WNBA or the NBA. It is. It's like I
Yeah.
don't care and I hate it all anyways. But
Yes.
I don't know. Go ahead. Remember, just keep your finger there.
I want to double check it.
Okay, so make sure they don't see me always stepping on the side to let men pass on the pavement. Like, when you're walking toward a woman, do you let her pass, or do you like?
I move out of the way every single time.
So that's usually if I am seen, most of the time men will walk and step out of the way of me.
Yeah,
If I'm seen, like if I'm
that's
not
the
seen,
rare. Yeah,
I'm a pygmy, so it's like if I'm not seen, I get ran over by men and women alike. They don't care. And like you brought up a good point about everybody being on their cell phones and stuff.
yeah, not paying
Nobody's paying
attention.
attention.
Not yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
it happens a lot, unfortunately.
not particularly a patriarchy thing. It's just a distraction thing.
Yes.
But there's a pointed comment about this one, so keep that in mind.
Okay, I'm sure we're gonna get to him pretty soon.
Point out stereotyped language or assumptions if seen or heard in public. So, normal speaking people, they have to sit there and say, no, it's not that. This is actually what it is. Typical woke deflection.
Ideation and stuff
Ideation,
too.
yes.
I mean,
And if you can pause it when it gets to this note up here. It says, I love your butt.
I love your butt.
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that like a lot of like high school guys would write notes like that
I know,
to women.
but this is supposed to be on her family thing.
I know, exactly. That's what I'm getting at, though. I mean, it's not in this situation is it acceptable. And honestly, I don't know very many like men that would even write this note to their wife. Like I said, there's some like in high school or whatever else.
No,
that
I
would do it.
honestly think that this is from a lesbian couple.
It sounds like it. It
This
really
actually
does.
sounds like something that a lesbian couple, for some reason, I don't know, it's just in my head, that they would say to each other.
It's true.
I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know.
I mean, it does. It sounds like that.
Because I'm with you. I'm just not feeling that, like,
That many.
unless
Yeah.
they're really young, like you said.
Yeah.
But even this looks like it's on like some board where they share things that they like about each other or something. And
Yeah.
it's like,
I know.
okay. Okay. Show them that women can be professional whilst wearing pink bright hair, nails done, that these don't make her less capable. I agree. But
Yes, but also you have to know what about the length of the fingernail?
yeah, I was gonna say it depends on your profession.
Yes.
And
If you're typing and you've got fingernails that are like that big,
that's right.
it ain't gonna work.
I used to train horses, and I used to have my hair colored all different colors, and I used to actually have my nails done like all the time, and I got away with it. But if I was working in healthcare, or if I was supposed to be representing somebody in a more professional manner, you tone it down. You just dress for the job, you know.
Hey, Sancho.
This is right up his alley. This is feminism.
Yep, I know.
MicroFeminism.
Now we're going over microfeminism.
Feel free to jump in and let us have some tidbits. You're good at that. But yeah, I mean, I do believe that it doesn't necessarily make you less capable, but
No.
I am with you, depending on the job, the context, you know. Like, if I had an animal control agent come out and she had really long fingernails that are brightly colored, I'm not going to take her any more seriously than I do anyway.
No, but I mean, also you're going to know that she doesn't get down with animals.
Exactly.
In her free time.
You can judge a lot by people's appearance.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, as I was saying, you know, you want to talk about the judging people's appearance, and I was telling you about the homeless.
Right.
And how the one thing that you want to look at to see about somebody that's panhandling,
if they're legit
or not, is shoes.
Yeah. Right.
Like I said, the people that are fake, for whatever reason, they don't even think about their shoes. They leave their shoes on.
They've never really lived homeless, I guess. You
Yeah.
know? And yeah. I mean, like I said, sometimes they might be gifted something, but it's really rare. And your shoes get screwed up pretty fast.
Oh yeah, they do. And I mean, that's why that should be a number one thing that people give the homeless.
Right.
Is shoes. But it's not.
Now I'm just going to just click space. And it'll zoom in. She looks happy.
Oh yeah.
Happy to fulfill. Same thing. And then it's going to say, could you tell me yours? It says, tell me yours. So you'll see some examples of other women and what they do to fight the patriarchy using micro-feminism.
Yeah, and then there was another wording thing.
It was the same thing from before.
Okay.
Wait.
You don't want to overtime.
And you might want to pause on things.
Okay, I think these are lovely, but I have two questions about them, if anyone is willing to answer. First, wouldn't it be better to use they, them instead of she, her to a doctor, like you said?
Exactly.
I understand wanting to overcompensate by going the other direction, but it seems to be neutralizing is the best option.
Right.
The second has to do with stepping aside on the pavement. In my experience, men step aside 90% of the time.
Yeah, right.
Yes, exactly. Are you somewhere that doesn't happen? I don't think stepping aside should be something one gender or the other. I just happen to notice it tends to be the men. Perhaps for practical reasons? Well, a lot of it is because the men is always supposed to be closest to the street.
Right.
You don't want the female to get it out in the road, get hit, and stuff like that. It's just part of the classification of what we are.
It's just etiquette.
Yes.
You know? I mean, it's just common courtesy. Etiquette, you know, it is what it is.
Should be something
Maybe practical purposes.
maybe based on footwear, maybe based on concepts of chivalry. Yeah, no idea. I hope no one thinks I'm trying to troll with this. I thought it was a
lovely post.
Lovely post, but those are the two questions I have.
So this will be the response. Okay, so this is a response by this lovely young lady, and she said, "We assume gender of such occupations to be she, her, because we are combating hundreds, if not thousands of years where men have been assumed to be the default sex and have been the default sex in pretty much all of society. What are you referring to as men stepping aside? I have seen nothing of the sort. Men step to the side to allow women to vote? Or did women fight for that right that men should have never withheld to begin with? Did men step aside when women wanted higher education, or did women fight for the challenge to challenge that status quo? Did men step aside when women wanted access to fight in the military, or did women fight for that as well? Men essentially created a world for men, by men, for men, with little to no regard for half the population that literally brought those men to life. Now we have to make up for lost time. So where exactly are men stepping to the side to make room for women, and why wasn't it like that all along? Dude, they were literally just talking about walking on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I know. And now she's talking about a bunch of other things that they're not talking about.
It's as bad as the not going back thing, you know?
Yeah, and they start talking about like off the wall, and it's like, oh my god, because this word set. When in reality, if you actually read it, it's exactly there.
No, it was literal. It was literal. It was completely
Yes.
literal. It was literally talking about stepping aside on the sidewalk.
Exactly.
And yet she's now going to be talking about all of these socio-political bullshit things that had nothing to do with it. Like,
That's exactly right.
like a figurative sense,
I know.
Like, he's like literally talking about that. They went back and forth for a little while. Eventually, he's like, "No, I meant like literally," and she's like, "Oh well, my apologies. I didn't see it that way." And it's like,
how can you not?
So you just jump all over this person and say this stuff, and
yes,
it's like so trigger happy.
They are. Well, yeah, they want something to fight about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they want.
Well, okay, so this is from another fellow, so you can read the top one.
I wonder what the dad thinks about all this. Oh, what? There isn't one? I'm not surprised.
This is the same woman. No one cares what you think, bro. Calm down. And then this guy again.
If that was true, you wouldn't have commented. Your dad would have taught you that if he had stuck around.
Who taught you that?
If he had stuck around, yeah.
Okay. You're a male. Literally subhuman. Sit this one out.
Wow.
Right? And what's scarier is I went to this woman's page.
Yeah.
She has sons. And
I feel sorry for him.
I know. She calls them subhuman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her sons are subhuman. You're right. Your life would be so much better if there were no pesky subhuman men around to literally build civilization, so you could complain about them on social media in your house that men also built.
So true, the world men built is a pretty shitty one. Endless wars, greed, famine, poverty, male violence, etc. Not really a flex. Kind of pathetic if you ask me. Yes. Did not get more quality than that. They can't be that dumb. I grew up seeing men build and break things down from men just to hear them say they don't like it. I remember doing it too. Men in government. I can't read it.
No, we can't. You
You
can't
have
come
to.
up along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Sorry, who was it who abolished slavery in your country? Who was it who invented cars, the internet, air conditioning, and hot showers? Who was it who gave women the right to vote? Your entire world was built by men who you have the audacity to call subhuman. You're a pathetic sexist, the very thing you claim to fight against.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. Men didn't do shit. They also invented war, greed, corruption, and are responsible for 90% plus of the world's violence. Men stole credit from female inventors and gate-kept women from contributing. Y'all are subhuman. You come from women. Literally a weakened, mutated, less evolved version of the X chromosome. Stay obsolete and expendable. Like I said, she has sons.
This is sad.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. And it's like, why is she saying that? Okay, she's saying that we come from females.
You're born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically, if you're going off the Bible's version, the female came from.
That's true. I didn't
Men.
think about it that way, but I mean, like scientifically speaking, I mean, you're born from a female.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, originally, it's supposed to be biblically, yeah, we're the rib. That's why we're supposed to be at your side as you're
Yes.
living, you know?
Sorry, guys.
Hold on a second.
Dude, these feminists. I can't see the rest of it, but he said, men in the government with women make policies for women.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Sancho. Okay. Dude, these feminists are sexist through and through.
It's horrible.
This is like Holocaust for males.
It really is. Okay, that's you. That's the guy.
Alright. Is that what you tell your sons before you put them to bed? Or do you tell them that what you really think? That you wish you poisoned them while they were in your room? You sick, degraded freak.
Degenerate.
Degenerate freak.
And that's so emotional, even for a man. And she says this to a couple people in the thread. I'm just like,
She sounds like somebody else we know.
and she comments on like so much stuff.
Well, just like her.
It's like they sit there all day long and wait for something to
Yes.
bitch about or stay on these threads for hours. I
She's-
saw that it was like over the course of like 5 hours, she was like back and forth with people.
She's probably on narcotics too.
Probably. She was very thin. So I was gonna pull up her profile, but I was like,
No,
I
we
didn't have
don't.
time. So
Yeah. I mean, the names and stuff are here,
Yeah.
so.
okay, this is a newly
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it a woman?
Stephanie, yeah.
Yeah, this comment section is hilarious. Y'all really are weird. Just raise kind, decent humans. We're literally making this world into men versus women. Women have rights. Women can do all the things men can. Let's stop pretending otherwise. This victim mentality is gross. And Amanda again comes back and was like, all right, friend, let's go to Afghanistan. Just us. We can sing and dance when we get there. We're talking about here.
Yeah.
And even in Afghanistan, they have more rights than they realize.
Oh, they do, yeah.
It's like the Western women want to paint that, but it's not as bad as they make it.
Exactly. No, let's just say that we come from both men and women. And he asked you something to remember, but I can't.
When it pops up, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a whole new thread now, and this is like, remember she said at the end of that video, tell me what your microfeminism things are, right?
So this is somebody responding to
Yes, and it said quietly change the pronouns of main characters in children's books when reading them aloud. There is no reason that the lion or dragon in the story needs to be male. And then somebody said 100% agree except for the tiny tidbit in case the lion has a mane and is clearly male. But otherwise, heck yes, I love this a lot. It's like they came back and they're like, even some female lions have manes, and people were like, no, not if they have a genetic mutation. That doesn't
Yes.
count. That doesn't, that's
Exactly.
just like PCOS. They're like, PCOS makes women grow facial hair. I'm like, yeah, that's an anomaly. There's something wrong.
Oh, it's just like the whole trans movement anyway.
Exactly. They'll see one thing that happens in nature and cling to it. It's like,
Yes.
no, that is an anomaly. That is weird. That is
Yeah, that
strange.
doesn't count.
Exactly. I swap out all the mothers to fathers when I read stories as well. I love doing that as well. It's nice for the dads to be home snuggling and caring whilst the women are chasing tigers and scaring away the monsters. Until it actually happens.
Yeah. Because women do not have the same capabilities that males do. This is the reason that we have these rules. No matter what these women want to say, but I mean, just look at, a male in a managerial role, and then watch a female in the exact same role.
Right.
See what happens. See who lasts longer.
Right. It has more consistent performance.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to somebody's like breaking into your house, I mean, I'm like hyper aggressive, but I also still know my limits.
Yes.
So it's like if I'm gonna protect my offspring, that's one thing, but I still know my limits.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm sorry, you're just stronger. So It's like until it actually happens for real. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
Let's see how dad stays behind and takes care of the children while you go out and fight the robber. Like let's find out. Unless you have dogs. Dogs are the equalizer.
And just exactly that.
That's why the gods gave women the connection with animals, because that helps bring us to an equal level when it comes to strength and everything.
Yes.
So that's why the dogs are used for security, the horses were used for mobility, heavy lifting. That's one of the gifts that God gave women, was the ability to
Yes,
work
it is.
with animals.
Can you repeat all that?
Yeah. I love this. I'm teaching my son the same things. He won't grow up to be part of the problem. He's a precious soul. He won't be part of the problem.
Oh.
I am a doctor, and I knew I succeeded with my 2 toddler daughters back in 1995 when they came to visit me at my all-women office, and one asked, "Mommy, can boys be doctors too?" I told them that boys can be anything they want when they grow up if they work hard enough. I'm a research scientist, and my 5-year-old son asked me if boys can be scientists. I like your answer. So far they've already grown up to think that only one sex does those things.
See, it's the exact same problem.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
It's like, why are you not teaching them that from the get-go that it can be either or?
Yeah, either or can do it.
It's like nursing,
But it's like I would imagine that the ER would be another place where men more would thrive.
Yeah, it's a trauma situation.
Yes.
Like, women keep their cool in trauma, and they're really, they're good with that in certain situations.
But the emotions could play a part.
It's I think better to have them there after things are stabilized.
Yes.
And also they lack this physical strength again.
I know, and that's a problem.
I think
because
about
trying to do CPR
exactly,
or
right. I mean, it can be done. It has been done. My
Yes.
mother's done it. But damn, dude, she was sore for
I bet.
months.
I bet.
And I think of Greg. Remember, he got his neck
Yes.
broken.
And what did that happen to a
I
female?
would have killed her.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
So yeah, I think you're right. Like trauma junkies, I think that's better spent male, paramedics, EMTs,
Exactly.
Fire, cops. It's like all those things where you have to be like hands
Yes.
on. Men just keep better composure, and they have the physical strength.
They do, yeah.
That's what it is.
Right.
To think. Go ahead.
Okay. To think these are wins for you people. You all went full retard, and the kids will probably be disturbed later in life.
Let's see, so yikes, time to log off for the day, Joe. Sounds like you have some issues to work through. And again with this one, Amanda, so emotional even for a male.
Even for a male.
But I mean, true. I like the whole never go full retard. There's no coming back from full
Exactly.
retard.
There's not. Oh
shit.
Okay, so want me to get it? Say it.
Yeah.
Okay. LOL, my kids work in the medical field. One is a paramedic and one is now a parent. In other words, they are more successful than you could ever possibly dream to be in your life. Maybe you should rethink your life and try to accomplish something good. Good luck. I'm sorry you had crappy parents.
It's like just a simple comment sets these people off.
It does. But this is somebody different than Joe.
Right.
This is Jennifer Warren. And then somebody said Jennifer Warren, love it. Yes. Okay.
30 years later, and they're doing OnlyFans. That was supposed to be you. I'm sorry.
And then
Amanda, again, why not make that money?
Because that you're selling your body.
And then Jennifer Warren, one is a paramedic and the other works in the medical field. Too bad you don't contribute to humanity in any way, just a waste of oxygen.
Ouch. These people are harsh.
Right?
Wow.
Oh, okay. This is another person for the micro
Yeah.
feminism. Okay. Similar. I have boys and made sure that there were pink and purple cups included in the kids' drawer. Butterflies on sippy cups, dress-up clothes, included fairy wings if they wanted painted nails while I was doing them. I always said yes and let them choose any color. I did that with him until he was like 9.
Yeah. There's not a problem that you're still doing it when they're 15, 16
Yeah,
years
right. Normalize women with short hair, men with long hair. Cultural differences, of course. Openly talk about periods. Never changed the commercial for period products and answered any questions. Inclusive language, books with female-led characters, clothes that didn't always have a monster or superhero on the front. Partners share household chores. Always let them bake and cook with me. I have taught Tristan as well, and to sew.
I do a bunch of
And you
cooking.
cook and stuff.
Yeah,
Not a big
there's
deal.
no problem there.
Taught them how to sew with a needle and thread, and how to loom and knit a hat. That's fine. That's all good.
None of that is a problem.
I don't like the inclusive language thing, but
I know.
because it's like it should just automatically already be inclusive. It shouldn't be thought of.
Exactly.
Okay, good. This was somebody responding to one that was farther up. It said, "You and her have very similar mindsets. Can imagine her telling the teacher the same thing." But what got me was she's one for all the things. Gets into my burlesque gear and huge heels. Did drag with her maid and loves to face paint and tell people to stick their ideas up their ass. Gotta love kids with a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Brats.
Yeah.
Just generally brats. It's okay to have your own thoughts and opinions, but to express them the way that they're saying, I mean, you can guarantee that they're brats.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can just see it.
And children do not belong in burlesque stuff.
No, no.
And they shouldn't be doing drag shows with their little friends.
Oh my God. The drag shows that these kids are going to, and it's like you're a screwed up parent if you let your kid go to one of these.
I mean, burlesque is exactly the same. It's just for straight people.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But
And
any
it's
of those.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like I don't know why they're doing that with either of those things.
No,
It's
they
like,
shouldn't.
because when usually people hear about burlesque, they're like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going to let my kid do that." But still, simultaneously take them to a drag show, which is exactly the same thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Hell no.
Oh yeah, bro, you can rolls. I like your style. That's what somebody. That we read all that last one, right? Okay. Want me to read this one?
Yes, this is a guy.
Okay. Unfortunately, no single parent can provide everything a child needs. Women and men each bring a unique set of experiences and traits to the table that cannot be replicated by the other. It doesn't matter how healthy and happy the children turn out,
I think, is what I meant to
turn
say.
out. There were some developmental issues experienced were missed.
No, so there were some developmental experiences
that were missed. I know some people don't have a choice in a lot of these matters, but we have enough statistics and some common sense that says both parents produce the best outcome. We seem to have a shortage of good masculine men and of good feminine women. Having kids, though.
Agree.
Yes.
I mean, it's what we were saying all along, the nuclear family.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Man, good, strong men, good, strong, feminine women.
Yes.
Because we bring strengths in different ways.
Exactly.
Softness and strength can be one and the same. Men don't want to work. Sorry, men don't want to work, and women want to do it all and have it all, and do it themselves, and be the one to brag about it.
And be the one where their voices are heard, and that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, this is card bomb. Vanessa or something.
Okay, so this is another one that talks about what she does. She talks about my periods to my 4-year-old. Mommy isn't feeling well. She's on her period and sick. So say that periods are sickness. Yeah, it's like I'll say when I'm bleeding and I'm weak.
Yeah.
But it's like she's saying I'm sick.
Yeah, that's not right.
Encourage his interest. Oh, it's a guy. Encourage his interest in girly things: cooking, baking, gardening, cleaning, helping with the baby. I let him try out my makeup safely. 4-year-old, I guess that's fine. I also compliment myself in front of him. Doesn't mommy look good today? She thinks so. Isn't mommy so strong? Look at what she can lift. Oh, for God's sake.
Not.
I have 2 boys, and I know I will have succeeded if women and girls feel safe around them. And that's my goal, to raise kind and compassionate men.
Good.
It's also crazy how soft some boys naturally are. I know so many sensitive and kind boys. The patriarchy just beats it out of them.
Yep.
It would be interesting to see what they would be like if their nurturing side was encouraged. Well, like,
I mean, some of that I agree with, but a lot of that, it's like, no, you need to
respect the rules.
Yes.
You know, it's like there's nothing wrong. I mean, like, it's good to have compassionate men, but
Yeah.
you also have to be strong.
But too much compassion is a problem.
Right. Otherwise, nothing's going to get done. You know?
Exactly.
Sometimes hard decisions have to be made.
And then how's the man gonna make that?
Right.
And he's gonna ruin another family.
It's like our friend up the road, you know, the people that live around here, they have a boy that's just so like emotional.
Yes.
I mean, he looks like he's on the verge of crying all the time. I have no idea how the hell he's going to.
I don't either.
But she essentially raised him as a single mother for a good while.
Yeah, she did. It's a big part of it at least. Okay.
Okay, so another one uses humankind instead of
Oh
mankind.
my goodness.
And but mankind in that context means the same as humankind with how it came about. And then somebody said euphemisms are next level
warped. It's true.
And whenever someone used man as default for human, when man migrated out of Africa, nope. I always say that when humans did this or that. Oh shit.
Wow.
And then mankind in that context means the same as humankind. When I know what it means, but it's still exclusionary. Why are men the default for human? Because oh my god.
Because by the Bible, women came out of men.
And even in ancient language, it came first.
Yes.
It was only until they realized that they needed a distinction that they had to make a different word.
Exactly.
And they always go back on their Latin. And Latin would be femina, which means mother. That's what woman means. So if they really want to go back on their Latin terms that they're always going off about, fetus, it's a fetus. Well, okay, well, femina means mother, so you're not that. And so woman is not that.
Exactly.
Until she's a mother, right?
Exactly.
You said that some people assume you're speaking only about a woman. With mankind, we're just assuming it means man. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, it is because the word man came first to refer to humans in general, and then later on they were like, we should make the word for women so that we can differentiate who's being spoken about.
Exactly.
As a kid, I always knew mankind wasn't just speaking about men. Maybe teaching kids the actual meaning of words instead of using pointless substitutes when identical meaning is the solution. It's only exclusionary language. If you teach the kids, it's exclusionary.
Yep.
I remember in like the original Star Trek, it was what is it?
Right.
Nowhere man has gone before. Where no man has
Where
gone.
no
Man has gone before. And then I remember sometime in the very mid to late 90s, they suddenly changed it, and it was where no one has gone before.
Yes, they couldn't keep it.
What nobody had any issue with it up until that point.
No,
what
no.
the hell?
Well, something came up about it.
You know, like, I mean, it just never had the same sound.
No, and it's like, I think that's kind of when the agenda was started.
It started, yeah.
I do.
Okay, so just say you don't understand the point, Lois. It's okay you don't understand history or etymology and why these things are the way they are. When people refer to the Smith family, we all know they mean the wife who took the husband's last name upon marriage too. But why is it still tradition to take the man's last name in some Western cultures? And not all.
No, it's not. Not all do, and actually a lot more now isn't.
I mean, even with your dad and Rebecca, they still
Yeah.
take their last
Both
names
of their last names,
individually. Yeah. See, sexism is the root of many of our traditions, just like the tradition of using the word mankind over humankind. Humankind is also harder to say, too.
It is.
Is
Yes.
a word that I choose to use for the valid reasons I gave. Use whatever words you want, I simply don't care. Good grief.
These people like really get into it.
They're rude as hell.
Yes.
I do all of these with my girls. It must be working because when my 6-year-old was listening to the story of Cinderella, hearing, she shrugged and said she should just get her own house and not marry that prince.
And there you go. There's the next phase of
Bring on the whole thing of Snow White.
yeah.
Yeah, I know we just did it. But yeah, like, what? Can't even believe in fairy tales
I know.
anymore, or believe in true love. Or
I know you
anything.
cannot follow
know?
true love's purpose. And it's like, yeah.
My daughter said something similar. When she asked why Cinderella didn't leave, I said that the stepsisters made her believe she wasn't able or worthy to be in her own. That's one reason it's important to always make the best choices, best for you, and surround yourself with people who don't support you doing that. Or who support you doing. She didn't have a choice.
No, she didn't.
She was married into a family with these stepsisters. She couldn't get out of the house. What are you talking about? She didn't have a choice in who she hung around with.
Exactly.
That doesn't even fit the story.
No, it doesn't.
Ugh. People. Okay, so this person says, I ask her why she's mad instead of telling her to calm down. I let my daughter express her angry feelings and never shame her for it and let her know angry feelings are legitimate, and I wanted to hear why she was angry, even if she were yelling the words. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And so my daughter is training to be a primary school teacher. When the kids are acting up or having a meltdown, she calmly asks them, are you having big feelings today? Would you like to talk about them? It almost always stops them in their tracks and makes the child want to talk to her because she's willing to listen. Yeah, I get having a safe space to talk about those sorts of things.
But the safe space has gone too far.
It's too soft.
Yes.
It's too soft. Sometimes
Yes.
it's like, why are you being a bitch today?
Exactly.
Why are you acting like a little bit? Like,
Country.
exactly.
Oh, that was right, right?
Yeah. Ah, here you go. That's for you.
Okay,
The guy.
Aaron. Way to raise a spoiled little brat. Bring out the wooden spoon. Your daughter ain't your friend. Learn about tough love. Way to raise an entitled little.
I have to agree with any of this stuff. It's like they are literally making little brats, little entitled little shits.
Yes, exactly.
I might have to mute it for a second. This is not feminism, and while we're talking about what feminism is not, it's not advocating for children to wear less and less clothing in the name of liberation or equality.
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen that? Like the things
Yes.
that they're letting the kids wear?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Modern feminism is the reason we can't find a full-length shirt or an age-appropriate swimsuit for our daughters. Modern feminism is the reason there's no difference in the clothing produced for grown women and toddlers. Yep.
Yep, exactly. I mean, the clothing style is getting shoddy.
It's horrible. And then they have the, like tuck it in swimsuits for boys and stuff.
I mean, it's like in high school, I couldn't even wear a Budweiser shirt.
Oh my god, it had a tiny, teeny little, this big, little logo that went across that part of it. And otherwise, it was just a freaking red polo shirt.
And I got told to go home and change.
Yeah. Okay. We do so much. The big thing we struggle with is a neutral way to say you guys. That still feels natural. I'm open to ideas if anyone has any. We're in the Midwest, so we could learn to use without feeling too unnatural. Y'all doesn't feel right. There are other things to replace altogether, but sometimes you just need to say you guys without guys. Dude, just like I just said, dude, that is a gender neutral thing.
Yes.
When it's put into that context, you guys.
So this is where they're like, you guys, you.
Yeah, you got. I mean, guys in this is gender neutral.
Exactly.
Dude, in the same context, is gender neutral. It does not mean it's a masculine or feminine word.
No, it doesn't.
It's just, guys, knock it off. What do you guys think? I mean,
Yes.
but they're gonna have a problem with that too. Okay, here we go. They came up with the name, and it's yes. I do remember that.
Yeah, we saw this one, right?
Sorry, I couldn't see your text or your comments until now because it had to move up.
Yeah.
Here you go, that's a guy.
Okay. And the cycle of phantom grievance activism carries on.
Oh, boogity boogity. And the cycle of males threatened by strong and independent females carries on. Oh my god, like Taylor the other day talking about, I think he had a post saying, have you ever been intimidated
Yes, I saw that
by
one.
a woman?
I saw that.
Like, I have intimidated men, but for all the wrong reasons. It
Yeah,
didn't have to do
you're
with
intimidating.
It didn't have to do with the money that I made or just
No.
freaking aggressive.
Well, and it's your outward attitude.
Yeah, but it's decidedly very masculine.
Yes.
So, and it was like everything that girls do that think is like becoming of them, that makes them strong and independent.
Yes.
That they can't understand why they have a guy. I would do those things to keep guys away from me.
Oh, I bet.
The way that they dress,
Yes.
the way that they speak is exactly what I would do to keep them away from me.
And you were taught that by your mother too.
Right.
You were taught that you don't want the guys coming at you. You
Right.
don't want.
Exactly, you have to put them in their place. So it's like
Yes.
if these women are thinking that they're going to attract men this way, they're literally doing it all wrong.
Exactly.
So that is a strategy
To drive them away.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
Go ahead, it's a girl, but it's a good one.
This is looking less like feminism, more like female supremacy. Swapping a male-centric mindset and language for a female-centric one doesn't solve gender inequality. We're only swapping the ratio around. Two gender equality does not entitle discrimination. Well said.
Mm-hmm. He says, teaching my boys and girls that if someone says stop when tickling or whatever, they must do so the first time. Related when asking about friends or crushes, future spouses, by saying she or he, or just they, to not gender them. I don't think we should be talking about boyfriends or girlfriends with anybody anyway until they're like, 14, 15.
Yeah, till over.
And it's like, and I do see that with people from like way back, and they did it to me too. It made me super uncomfortable. Oh, you're gonna be a little heartbreaker. Oh, the guys are gonna be all over you. Oh, you're gonna break a bunch of hearts. And it's
Yes.
like that's disgusting. And
It is.
Stop thinking about me that way. It's like I was 9.
Why are you thinking of it that way?
I remember very distinctly not wanting to go to the airport because we used to go there for lunch. And my grandmother had a friend there that he always called me he always called me kissy lips and stuff, and he was always like he made me super uncomfortable.
Yes.
It was like 6, 7 years old.
The other one of your grandparents is the other guy, Jimmy.
Yeah, he was really handsy too.
Yeah.
And the way that he acted toward the children really freaked me out.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things.
And they just overlook it,
Yeah.
and it's like
They don't care.
I don't believe in that, like forcing your child to go hug a relative or whatever
never.
if they're uncomfortable. It's like, hell no. And it's like that I agree with. It's like boundaries for sure.
Oh yeah, just like boundaries we put up when Dino's father was here.
I was like, nope, come in the house now. Telling Tristan to come in the house. It's fine.
Yes.
It's like, we weren't rude about it.
No, but you gotta know.
It's like, no, you're too drunk and you're acting too fucking weird.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on, Myra. I think this is my favorite. This one.
Okay.
You don't need this devil crap. Greek word for helper used to describe Eve. In the, I don't accept again, translation, the Greek Old Testament is Belethos. It is used in the New Testament to describe strong, rescuing help offered in the context of divine assistance. It is different than other biblical words for helper. Held higher, you seem to want to be held as equal to men, but we are both beloved equally and yet better than each other in different things. This stuff is Satan's joke on you. Let's get back to focusing on the perfection of God's love and not the generational fall that we have taken into leaning our own knowledge of life there, it seems. We aren't going to outdo perfect love and righteousness, though you may try and try. It's silly, setting your kids up for a love that is less than everything, which they deserve. You can claim freely. It's true.
Yes.
God designed us
Yes.
a special way.
Exactly. And it's very interesting when people put this stuff in because I like to listen to it and be like, okay, take it in.
So there's another word for Greek. They're always falling back on that too.
Very much so. Okay, let's see.
You have to cover the rest.
Yeah. Gendering all the animals at the zoo as females, and so often it's the other way around. Changing some characters in certain books, like the big, strong bulldozer to female. If someone helps with a chore, I make sure to say they are helping daddy and mommy, not just mommy. Commenting how I am better at some things with daddy is better at some things because we have had more chances to practice.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Again, just too much. So, not allowing people to talk over you is excellent. However, so is being able to shut up long enough for someone else so someone else can respond.
Exactly.
Boom. We just talked about that.
Exactly.
Couldn't love this video more. The weight self-depreciation depreciation is something I take very seriously in our household. When my 6-year-old points out my big tummy, I don't take a negative route with it.
Well, that's good.
Well, yeah, you can't.
And like I said, Fat Tuesday,
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, you already are fat.
What do you need it, Mom?
Like, whoa. But that was funny. I laughed so hard. It was so funny. It's like, oh, you wait.
Yeah. Let's see, I don't need as much more. Yeah, that's it. All right, so that was awesome. Thank you, Dr. Button. You made this so that it lasted our exact time.
Yay!
We're at it. We're at an hour 30.
Like I said, I have a couple more videos for you to review next week.
Yeah, we'll go over them.
He's getting cranky.
I know, and we got a dog to bring in.
Go see what Sancho said real quick on StreamYard, which is right here.
It's not any other type of feminism.
It's just
feminism. Yeah.
But they think that it's okay to interject a little bit here and a little bit there, mindfully and meaningly. It's like, come on, you guys, you gotta chill.
I'll make sure he hits anything that we missed because most of the time it's all the same.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you, Sancho, for joining us. That was awesome. Let me run my
special thanks. Charlie, if you're still listening, we still think of you.
We do it every single day.
Hope everything is going good.
God, I gotta go.
But yeah, we'll check it out. Feminism Daily. Check it out on Facebook for some good laughs.
Yes. Special thanks. My second little dude here. And Cad's joining us. Thank you, Sancho, for joining us again. Always a pleasure to have you. Hope to see you on Friday. We're going to try to start at 7, but it might be 8.
It's summer, so right in the summertime.
Sometimes we're busier than others, and so we can't start until later. So as soon as we can, we'll start.
Oh, and LongWalker has a TikTok now, so do I.
Yes.
So check that out. It's LongWalker's Life.
LongWalker's Life, as always.
And for me, Daughter Bought an 8.
And pretty soon, I'm hoping, since we have our vehicle, that I will become the Daughter of LongWalker Wolfboy Productions mobile.
There you go.
We're hoping to get bumper stickers and then the side decals.
I'll just call it the Monastery Mobile.
Yeah. To be able to put all that on there.
Yeah.
So that way, if you're out, you could see us like driving down the road.
Exactly.
Always feel free to say hi if you ever see us. We have no problem with that.
Can get some selfies and stuff so we can
Yeah.
post it. Do a short with it.
Exactly.
All right, you guys.
All right, guys, we gotta go. So, thank you. Namaste.
Have a good night. See you guys on Friday
For another great episode.